coming up for you. First of all, though, we're going to hear from Motley Crue. These guys have recorded a new album in Vancouver with Bruce Fairburn, and that should be coming out sometime in September. These guys are huge fans of Aerosmith, and work the same way that Aerosmith did on their album. Now, these guys are going to be touring around in Moscow. They're going to be flying there, I believe it's August 13th, at Lenin Stadium for a show along with Skid Row, Bon Jovi, Scorpions, and Ozzy Osbourne, all are performing at the Moscow Music and Peace Summit to raise funds for the Make a Difference Foundation to combat teen drug abuse. Sounds great. Maybe they should take their own advice, don't you think? Motley Crue, Too Young to Fall in Love on Pepsi Power Hour.
Brand new video from the brand new album from Motley Crue. You want to take a look at what these guys look like? They've straightened up, straight jackets on, so that makes sense. It's called Dr. Feelgood. It's produced by Bob Rock and also recorded by Bob Rock, which is what makes him so wonderful, because he's a great recording engineer. He knows how to get the right sound on tape, not just producing it and getting the mix. He really knows how to get the right sound on tape. Tommy Lee is going to be in to Much Music on the 8th, and you can watch that live, or you can wait, because I'll be doing an interview with him, and it will be part of an upcoming special on the Pepsi Power Hour. We'll be talking to him about absolutely everything. Dr. Feelgood, this video, if you watch carefully and you listen to lyrics, which I know you guys do, but a lot of other people don't, this is an anti-drug video. It is about the topic of drugs, so maybe some people, if they were cluing in and just saw 30 seconds of it, might get the wrong impression. This is definitely an anti-drug video. This is from a band that's been to hell and back on drugs, and hopefully Tommy Lee will be talking about that. They're very anti-drug now, as I understand, and this is what this video is about, so watch carefully. What else can I say? Their European tour, which they've just finished up, is very different than the one we'll see here in North America. They stripped it right down, bare bones kind of show. They just wanted to get out there and just blast people with their rock and roll, which they did. They say that the North American show will be much more theatrical, based on this Dr. Feelgood theme, and he said it will just blow people's minds what we're going to do in this show, so make sure you come. He said it'll be entertainment from the word go. It sounds like a great show. We'll be talking to them about it. Besides, oh, by the way, if you're wondering what kind of sound this album has, it's funk meets hard rock. Do these look like funksters to you? George Clinton, watch out. Motley Crue. Also, we have some vintage Helix for you with Heavy Metal Love. This is from 1983, No Rest for the Wicked LP. They're still recording their new album. We haven't heard anything more from them. They're in there working on it. So we'll give you an old bit of Helix. But first of all, the Canadian premiere. Here's Dr. Feelgood by Motley Crue.
In the spotlight today, it's the Crue. Motley Crue has been reviled and defiled around the world. They've been called mindless, perverse, and dangerous. They've been accused of worshiping the devil, fostering violence, and lowering sex to its sleaziest level, and in general, signaling the beginning of the end for at least one generation of Western civilization. And they're proud of it. Their response to all of this is, hey, Elvis Presley was accused of worshiping the devil, but really what they do mean is that they do not want your parents to like their music. They say if that's the case, then their music has become too tame and too predictable. They want to be the bad guys of rock and roll. But what is interesting is that Motley Crue, who really have such a despicable way about them, and, well, I mean, if you like their music, but for those of us who are anti-heavy metal and anti-drugs and anti-sex on the screen, this band is the worst of them. Yet, they have toned down their image an awful lot. Their latest album is called Dr. Feelgood, and it's an album that is proud to sing about the fact that they're no longer using drugs. They realize that if they continued using drugs to the extent that they were before, that they would not be able to continue their career. They'd be all dead. So the last album, which was recorded in Vancouver, by the way, with our very own Bob Rock as head producer, they hung in Vancouver a lot, had a great time, worked with Aerosmith on the album as well, but they really have become to notice that it makes a big difference for their career and for their songwriting and for their whole stage performance. They stopped drinking, they stopped doing drugs, but they still rock, and they're going to be in our spotlight right after this.
Crue, Tommy Lee was in here not that long ago, and just a great, righteous, just a wonderful guy. New album's doing real well for them. It's the rumor has it that people who would hate Whitesnake and never think of listening to a Whitesnake are actually coming up to the band. I'm sorry, Motley Crue. Excuse me, thinking elsewhere. People who normally would never even think about putting a Whitesnake album on their turntable are actually Motley Crue. Excuse me. Let's come out of commercials again, shall we? Let's not bother. Twice. I'm an idiot. Sorry. With respect to Motley Crue, the new album, people who would never put a Motley Crue album on the turntable are coming up to members of the band, Motley Crue, and saying, geez, we really like this new Motley Crue album, Dr. Feelgood, because it's real hot. Last time that Tommy Lee of Motley Crue was in, they were talking about doing a gig at the Sky Dome here in the Toronto area. There are no Canadian dates thus far for Motley Crue, except for one, for you folks who live around the Toronto area, Buffalo at the Odd on the 19th of December, and that's all there is right now. Also, there was rumor that Tommy Lee of Motley Crue wanted to, for the video, because the lyric is in the song, he wanted to skydive naked from an airplane, but I don't think it made the final cut.
Steve, it's
yes?
Mr. Host on the phone.
Yes?
I want you to get on with it. Thanks.
What do you mean I'm fired? Chuck the show. Thanks, man. So, Kickstart My Heart is what we'll see in a few seconds. But first, let's see Tommy Lee of Motley Crue in conversation. And you were working with a good pal of ours, too.
Yeah.
Bob Rock.
We call him Rockhead.
Yes, do you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's cool, man. He can stay. We dig him. We dig him so much. He's like he's just a long-haired, young rock guy, you know? He's totally, I don't know what to say about him. He's a guitar player, he's a musician. He loves kick-ass rock and roll. And in the past, our producer has been older than us, not a musician.
Right.
And Tom Werman is a good producer, but Bob just let us like spread our wings and fly, man, in the studio. He was so cool.
Yeah, and of course he knows.
Hi, Bob, if you're watching, by the way.
And he knows Vancouver real well too.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he showed us a real good time here.
And then Nicky said something. Nicky had said something about Vancouver. He says, "Well, yeah, we spent about 6 months in Vancouver. There wasn't a whole lot to do in Vancouver, but there are more strip clubs than you can shake a stick at."
That was great. What a great way to take a what do you call it? An inspiration break.
Yes.
Yeah. There we go. Check him out. Yeah. Look at that. Nice. This is it. Back home, sweet home. Yeah. This is where it all began. Yeah. Should we go check it out? Let's go.
Without You, from Motley Crue's latest album called Dr. Feelgood. A song was written about Tommy Lee and Heather Locklear. I just think they've got a cool rock and roll relationship. Tommy's like a rowdy rock and roller, and she saved his life. Bob Rock is the best, according to the band. Bob Rock helped him out on this album. He became the 5th member of Motley Crue. He's a young guy with long hair. As far as I'm concerned, he is the 5th member of Motley Crue, so says Nikki. Some other stuff about the song, Without You, from Motley Crue. Oh, actually, about Tommy Lee. Tommy Lee was busted the other day. Can anybody verify that he skipped bail? That's the last word I got. All right. Well, you guys, we've been hitting you over the head with it. I mean, you know what happened with Tommy Lee. Tommy Lee basically mooned the audience in Augusta, and they waited 30 minutes till after that to bust him. They charged him, gave $1,600 bail, and then he got on the tour bus and took off. So basically, he didn't show up for his court date. So he's on the run. He's on the run. Alice Cooper, Only My Heart Talking, and Without You, latest from Motley Crue in this edition of the Hostess Sneak Previews.
How does a week in Waikiki, Hawaii, and a chance to meet and see the guys from Motley Crue in concert sound to you? Well, Video Hits and Pepsi have got what it takes to give some lucky winner and a friend this trip to paradise. You could meet Vince, Nikki, Mick, and Tommy from Motley Crue and see them in concert in Honolulu. Then spend the rest of the week sunning, surfing, and sightseeing, or just relaxing on Honolulu's beautiful beaches. And to make sure you have what it takes to have a great time, Pepsi will also give you $1,000 spending money. How is that for a trip to paradise? We've got some other great prizes as well. Second prize is a limited edition Motley Crue leather tour jacket that we'll have made specially for you. And there'll be 5 third prizes of a Dr. Feelgood shirt, plus the complete Motley Crue catalog on CD. What does it take to enter? Just send your name, age, address, and telephone number, plus a Pepsi bottle cap liner or reasonable hand-drawn facsimile to Motley Crue in Paradise, care of Video Hits, P.O. Box 500, Station A, Toronto, Ontario, M5W 1E6. That address again is Motley Crue in Paradise, care of Video Hits, P.O. Box 500, Station A, Toronto, Ontario, M5W 1E6. The contest closes Wednesday, May 9th, and we'll announce the winners on Monday, May 14th. Meet Motley Crue with Pepsi. It's got what it takes.
It says, hey, how's it going, all you MM dudes? We're sitting here watching you dudes. We're on our spare because we flunked most heinously out of our class, out of history class. So we think to ourselves, dudes, we need some smoking in the boys' room from the Crue. If you would be most triumphant if you could play this soon. Party on, dudes. Mike and Jamie. And I guess this is supposed to be a phone booth. Is that what that's supposed to be? So we're going to be playing some Smoke in the Boys' Room for Mark and Jamie in Brampton, because we agree you can never get too much Crue. But also coming up, we got Sue Medley and Rebecca Jenkins, 2, may I dare say it, at the risk of sounding sexist, hot babes on Much. Here's the Crue. This is the 4th video. Yes, it's the 4th video from the Dr. Feelgood album. You got to check out the haircuts on Tommy Lee and on Nikki Sixx, because apparently, well, you'll see it. This is something called Don't Go Away Mad, Just Go Away.